Which of the following statements is not correct regarding acknowledgments and conveyances under New York State Notary Public Law? To help us answer this question, let's have a look at some sections from our Notary Public License Law booklet, starting with Real Property Law, Section 302, entitled Acknowledgments and Proofs by Married Women, and it states, "The acknowledgment or proof of a conveyance of real property within the state or of any other written instrument may be made by a married woman the same as if unmarried." Let's also look at Section 304 from that same Real Property Law, entitled Proof by Subscribing Witness, and it states, "When the execution of a conveyance is proved by a subscribing witness, such witness must state his own place of residence," etc. And finally, let's have a quick look at Section 182.5, entitled Satisfactory Evidence of Identity, and the law makes it clear, I'm not going to read all of this, but the law makes it clear that the notary public must obtain satisfactory evidence of identity in order to notarize. So with all this in mind, let's have a look at our four choices to see which one is not correct and therefore our correct solution. Choice A states, a married woman can acknowledge a conveyance the same as if she were unmarried. Well, this aligns with what we read from before from Section 302 of the Real Property Law, and therefore choice A is a correct statement and not our solution. Choice B states, a married woman requires the consent of her spouse to acknowledge a conveyance. Well, this is incorrect because a married woman and unmarried woman have the same status. A married woman does not need the consent of her spouse to acknowledge a conveyance. But before we mark this as the correct solution because it's an incorrect statement, let's have a look at choices C and D just to make sure that they are actually correct statements and not our solution. Choice C states, a subscribing witness must provide their residence details when proving a conveyance. Well, this aligns with what we read from at Section 304 of the Real Property Law, that the place of residence must be stated by a subscribing witness, and therefore choice C is a correct statement and not our solution. And finally, choice D states, an officer must have satisfactory evidence of a person's identity before taking an acknowledgement, and this as well aligns with what I read from before from the law at Section 182.5, obtaining satisfactory evidence of identity, and therefore choice D is a correct statement and not our solution. Which indeed leaves choice B, a married woman requires the consent of her spouse to acknowledge a conveyance, as the correct solution.